Hi Cancer, this is your August 2021 reading. We're going to look at what's been going on with you from the start of August, end of July, and then we'll even take this further going towards September. So what I've got coming up for Cancer, July, there seems to have been some sort of a loss in financial security that was communicated to you. And you were kind of taken aback by this unfair kind of ruling you felt, that something that was perceived as a loss from you, by you, has occurred in the end part of July coming into August. I'm sensing for some Cancers that they had invested time, money or effort into something that kind of has resulted in some dissipation of what they had been formally accumulating. So you are kind of losing something at the moment, Cancer, you feel. Don't fear, we're going to clear all these cards up and look at this spread together, but the energy for the rest of August looks really, really beautiful, Cancer. Some of you might even be taking a trip, expanding your horizons. This might be with somebody that you really love. It doesn't have to be a romantic partner or a soulmate, but even friends, somebody that you really align with. That could be coming up on the cards for you. I'm seeing the Sun card too. Like, look at this 3 cards that came through for you for the month of August. Beautiful energy, very vibrant, very alive, very happy. We're going to clear it all up as we progress to the end of the month and begin going into September. It looks like an issue that you have been worried about may begin to surface again. This looks like there could be some mental fog at the end of the month and some confusion around your next path forward or how you're going to begin to progress in your new direction. There is something that you are working on that is going to take some time to come to full completion, and around that there may come up some sort of confusion or some necessity for you, Cancer, to break through the illusion of any, well, really, if there's anything that's been offered to you that just sounds a little bit bogus, or it's presenting to you like this could be a great success, this would be wonderful, you're going to be kind of asked to look at it a little bit closer and definitely break through any of the illusions that are being offered to you at this time, Cancer. Could be around work or some sort of a project that you're kind of trying to get underway. Okay, so Cancer rising, there's a couple of notes on this that I would like to say. If you had been making investments, Cancer or Cancer rising, but this may sound a little bit more truthful to Cancer risings, Jupiter has moved back into your 8th house of investments and kind of move back into your house of investments. It hadn't been there. So if you had been making investments in, maybe it was even just buying crypto or investing in like actual, a shared resource with another person, going into business with somebody, making that kind of an investment, making an investment in your romantic relationship as a bigger, more impactful investment. For any Cancers, that investing is coming up for you in whatever capacity, that is set to improve for you, especially Cancer rising, as Jupiter has just moved back in. Jupiter, the planet of expansion and generosity and making things bigger and better, back into your 8th house of shared resources and different kind of investments you make. That's going to be pretty positive. Cancer rising, we also have the Sun in Leo in your 2nd house of accumulated wealth, and there was a new moon in Leo in Cancer rising 2nd house on the 8th of August. That would have been perhaps a new beginning in what is possible for you in kind of how you generate income. I think we should look at these cards together and pull some more now to get into these messages even deeper. Let's get into it, Cancer. Let's take it back to these cards that are coming through from the end of July to August for you. What are the nature of the Page of Cups, 7 of Pentacles reverse, and the King of Swords? I'm seeing this as some sort of a ruling or decision that came through for you, that was communicated with you, and you had all the best intentions around this. 6 of Swords. And the Hanged Man in reverse. Now this looks like it's upright, but we can see now that it's reversed in this reading. Okay, so you may have had to move away from something due to some sort of a decision that was made and that was out of your control, I think. You had all the best intentions around whatever this investment was. You, in fact, some of you may have poured your heart and soul into it, and for some, this like kind of passion project, this labor of love, or this vision or dream that you had, Cancer, it didn't get to fully mature or ripen and bear fruit like you wished it had. And for some reason, it seems like that was just out of your hands, and some kind of force that was even more powerful than you felt externally kind of laid down this sword and said no or yes, depending, and it changed things for you. It has kind of left you stuck in the Hanged Man phase, and when the Hanged Man reverses, it can tell us that we failed to learn the perspective that was being awarded to us through this experience. The Hanged Man, when it reverses, tells us that we need to go back into our Hanged One position upright, sit there, be okay with the weight, be okay with the suspension, because what we're learning through this is going to be much bigger insofar as our world view. This is the major arcana card clearing up these other minor cards and court cards, telling me that the biggest lesson that you can take from this investment, or this and it doesn't have to be just like an investment of money, something that you had tried to do and put focus and effort and planning and even resources into, didn't turn out the way that you wanted to, but there is something to be learned from that, Cancer. And you know what, one of the things that it could be that you were due to learn from it, that this was for the best. You moving away from this and transitioning away from it, changing things and going towards something else, has actually going to be something that's going to soothe your mind and release a lot of blame or guilt or mental traps that you've been finding yourself in, where you're placing a lot of blame on yourself and you know, talking quite badly to yourself. You're now actually able to sort of move away from that. Okay, you could have been dealing with another water sign or another air or an air sign at that time. So another Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, or even an Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini. And they could have been a person that was making decisions for you, basically, or for whatever it was that, you know, changed the direction of how you were getting on and how things were going for you. Let's clear up this really beautiful, expansive, joyous middle row. So this is going to be now, so we're recording here in mid-August, early August, via the 10th of August. So until, let's say, until around the 24th, until the sun leaves the sign of Leo and moves into Virgo, let's put it at this sort of a timeline. So while we're still in Leo season, what does Cancer need to know about these cards? It seems like you are maybe taking a trip, expanding your horizons, even expanding your horizon insofar as your new love connections or your current love connections, in terms of what makes you happy and feel like you're like being most in alignment to your true self. Okay, the Hermit in reverse. So now we have the Virgo card and we have the Knight of Pentacles being Virgo. So I do see this kind of happening towards the later part of those date range, and the Tower card. Oh, okay. So something that you have been given an awful lot of consideration to at this time, Cancer, may take some sort of a shift or a turn. The consideration that you have at the end of the month, where you're spending a lot of time kind of looks like sifting through some illusions that you need to discern the truth and to figure out which of these options are actually going to be the best for you, because the options that appear in the Seven of Cups, it's kind of like this all that glitters isn't gold. You might be being presented with something that is not as good as it says it is on the tin, or it's just not what it says it is on the tin, and you'll have to use your discernment around that. 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcana cards, pretty big and powerful energy. So we do have the Hermit. You've been thinking very hard and long about something at this point in August, and I think by around the 20th of August, 21st, 22nd, you are kind of going to take what you've had under review for so long at this point, and you actually need to step out of hermit mode when it reverses, similarly to the Hanged Man. There's something that's not sinking in with you yet. These are both cards about getting new perspective in a huge way and doing some research or learning something, going within even, and determining what it is that you need to know from within, from without, and from within. So look at the external, but then always check back with yourself. The Hermit is saying that you could spend a little bit too much time focused on this, and change seems like it's going to happen in and around the realm of your life in terms of what you're trying to expand, what you're trying to grow and make bigger and improve in your life. There could be changes coming up around your romantic relationship at this time. This could involve even your partner, a bigger change in their life happening, and then so it affects yours. That could be what you're experiencing around this time in August. But all of this change, and even if things seem a little unsettling or rocky, all of this change is really to kind of bring you closer to your most authentic and aligned self, where you feel like you are being true to yourself. So I feel like any basically bullshit or illusionary successes that you may feel, or things that you on the surface look really good and really successful, they may be tested, because that's what the tower does. It tests our foundations. Now, if this tower is built on a very solid foundation, when lightning hits it, it's not going to crumble. There's not going to be a disaster. But if there is anything that you've been building, Cancer, that isn't set in solid foundations for your highest and best self, or in alignment with your truest and highest self, late August, around the 20th, may be a time where there is some catalyst for change for you that you will perceive. And you may know what this is, especially if you've been looking into it very deeply. But for others, Cancer, it may come as more of a surprise to you. But remember, it's for you to get closer into your aligned path. Let's look at what comes up at the end of the month. We see you going on a journey, and you're headed towards completing something that you may feel already that could take a little bit of time. The tower moment may be what leaves us here if you're not sure about what these options or choosing what's best for you could be. So let's clear it up. I'm going to put these back in because that was too many, but intuitively I just want to talk about the High Priestess, the moon representing your planetary or your luminary ruler, rather, the moon, Cancer. When I talk to you, for some Cancers, the High Priestess is about pure intuition. So when I do talk to you about these options that you're wading through at the moment and determining if they're all that they're cracked up to be, you may already know what that is intuitively. That's what the High Priestess is telling me. So let's keep going. These cards are pretty energetic, so let's see what's coming through. 9 of Swords, 7 of Cups. Oh my goodness, they're flying out. And the Knight of Pentacles. Let's get going on it. And we've got the Emperor, more major arcana energy, and more again with the Strength card. Your strength may be tested by the end of the month, Cancer. The 3 of Swords can indicate some sort of a more harsher truth to deal with coming to be revealed. The important thing to remember about these kind of perceived more difficult cards in the tarot are that these are both for liberation ultimately. Any unsettling changes that happen this month, anything that's painful for you to digest or even listen to or hear, is really like the truth setting you free here, and being set free physically, emotionally, mentally, from any sort of binds or ties that are built on anything that's false. So then we have, moving on, what kind of worries could come up for you, or options that you need to look through? Well, it could be coming up around a domineering family member of yours, or a kind of more domineering boss of yours. Some of you are kind of going to be meeting some sort of a stronger opposition or force, where you in turn are going to have to step into Emperor mode and step into Strength mode. What is that going to look like for you? Well, Cancer, it could look like you standing up in Emperor and saying, hang on a minute, I have a right to be doing what I'm doing. I have a right to just be here and exist, never mind anything else. So at the most fundamental level, it's about knowing that you have a right to be doing what you're doing, just like everybody else does. And the Strength card is also saying, Cancer, you do have inner strength that has proven itself to you time and time again in your life. On the times where we're here in 9 of Swords mode, having sleepless nights, having periods of mental anguish or stress, you have had these experiences before in your life, much like all of us, and you have overcome and persevered and came out maybe stronger than ever, but at least still standing and overcoming and ready for your next challenge. The Strength card does tell you that this month, relying on your inner strength is going to be important. There is a fire energy coming through, like an Aries or a Leo now, that could present to you in your life as some sort of a force force to be reckoned with, or a force that you need to kind of come up against and kind of equally exert your dominance here. It seems like there could be even two people that seem like they're even more of a stronger force than you are at this time, and that you're kind of on a battle against them, or not even a battle, but you have to kind of pursue what it is that you want to do in the face of more challenging and stronger opponents. Now, these could be people that exist in your life on a personal level. Of course, they can be people that exist for you on a more macro or external level. The Emperor card can be very much linked to authority, so you may be just feeling extra pressure coming from authority figures in your life, whether they're personal, like family members, teachers, bosses, or if it's just, external forces that are at play at this time. I think you can really look forward to soaking up the blessings in August, Cancer, especially if you're taking trips or trying to expand your horizons. It looks like taking a trip at this time could even be really beneficial to expanding your current worldview, and maybe that would even upright our Hanged Man energy, where we can kind of understand things from a different perspective. That could be really helpful. Cancer, that's going to be your reading for August. A lot of major arcana cards here coming through. So, I'm sure you're going to be feeling the intensity of change and the intensity of your strength, and also the intensity of all these wonderful blessings and moments of pure joy and liberation and alignment to yourself. Thanks for watching, Cancer. Let's see you again. Bye.